Are you preparing for IELTS test? Are you worried about IELTS speaking? If you are, I can understand your situation because I felt the same when I was preparing myself for the IELTS test. So today I would like to share some of the tips or techniques that I used in order to get 7.5 in IELTS speaking. So let's get started, guys. So IELTS test duration is around, like speaking test duration is around like 5 to 15 minutes. So it's mainly marked on 4 areas. So I'll just paraphrase it so it will be easier for you to understand. One is like grammar, vocabulary, and it's like the way you express yourself and the pronunciation. So as I told, the duration is like 5 to 15 minutes and is divided into 3 parts, part 1, part 2, and part 3. So this is a formal test. So when you are going for IELTS speaking test, make sure that you wear formal clothes. So as you enter into the room, the examiner will ask you to have a seat, and in the part 1 there's a phase called introduction phase, where the examiner, he or she, will introduce herself or himself to you by stating their name, and they might ask you, he or she might ask you your name, where do you come from, and your personal ID. So in this introduction phase, make sure that you don't ask any personal questions to the examiner, like where are you from, how is your life, something like that. Never ask any personal questions or never shake hands with the examiner. So just give precise and concise answer for the questions. And after that, in part 1, the examiner will ask you around like 3 to 5 questions related to day-to-day life. For example, like, do you like music? So you can say like, of course I like music. So, but one thing I always did is like, instead of using the same words from the question, you can paraphrase it or use your own vocabulary. For example, you can say, of course, I love music. I'm quite passionate about music. I'm quite enthusiastic about music. Or I am a diehard fan of like hip hop music, something like that. So you see here, I have changed that word like to love, enthusiasm, passionate, all those kind of things. That shows the various vocabulary range I possess. Along with that, when you are saying an answer, when you are answering the question, make it like a personal way. Some students just sit in front of the examiner like hands tied up and say like, yeah, I love music. You need to express yourself. You need to use your hands or your body language, even your face and tone to express like, I love music. That makes a huge difference in your score. So always keep that in my mind. And in the part 1, you need to answer, your length of your answer should be around like 10 to 15 seconds. So you need to speak like, say, at least 2 or 3 sentences. So one thing, a trick I always use is like, I always have that question why in my mind. If I say, of course I love music, why? Because it diverts my mind from daily stress, or it just helps me to relax myself. So always have that question why in your mind. So when you say a reason or rational, that way you can develop your answers up to like 10 to 15 seconds. Then in task on the part 2, the examiner is going to ask you about a topic, and he or she will give you like 1 minute to prepare, and you need to talk about that topic for around 1 to 2 minutes. If you speak more than 2 minutes, the examiner might stop you saying that your 2 minutes are up. So here one trick I always use is like, for example, if the examiner asks me like, talk about a place that you recently visited. When did you visit? With whom you did visited the place? Why did you visit that place? So what I do is that when I get that paper and like pen during my preparatory 1 minute preparation phase or time, what I do is like I write down the answers for like question 1, the place, for example, it's Taj Mahal. It's in New Delhi, India. And the second question, when, like last year, with whom, like with my friends or family or by myself. Why? One of the historical monuments the world has ever seen, one of the famous places one of the famous historical monument or something like that. You can write it down, and that way you answer in a structured way. Then first you answer the first question, second, third, fourth. So that way it will be easier for you rather than like jumping from one section to other, and you will get like tensed or you get more nervous by doing that. So it always helped me to answer in a systematic way and easily reach that point of like 1 to 2 minutes. always it helped me to reach at least speak for like 1 minute 30 seconds or 2 minutes. So you can try that too. So after like a task 2, the exam might ask you a small follow-up question like would you like to visit that place again or something like that. And in task 3, the examiner is going to ask you like 3 to 5 questions related to task 2 or day-to-day life. So here in this part, your answer should be lengthier than part 1. You should speak for at least 40 to 50 seconds. So one trick I used was to always include examples in it. So when you're talking about environmental pollution, if you add your own personal example, or what you have read on a news article or what you have heard, if you use it as an example, you can easily speak for like 40 to 50 seconds. So it will be easier for the examiner to see your vocabulary range, the various styles that you use, the way you pronounce. So you might get panicked, tensed. Don't worry, be confident. Even if you make mistake, don't worry about it. Keep on speaking, because this is a speaking test. The only way examiner can evaluate you is only by speaking. So you do not stop. If you don't know anything, just try to come up with some ideas and talk about it as much as you can. So along with that, what I want to say is like practice daily. English is a language. If you want to improve your speaking skills, you need to practice daily. You need to talk to your friends or family. If they cannot understand it, find people who are preparing for IELTS test. Communicate with them daily. Make it a routine. Strengthen your grammar base. Learn more vocabularies related to different topics and use them in day-to-day life. That way it will become a part of you. I know it's tough for many people, but keep on trying. You will get it. It was tough for me too. But as days passed by, I was able to progress my level and get the score of 7.5.